Out on the rugged coast of Oregon, where the Pacific Ocean crashes into these ancient cliffs, there's a town with a story that's literally etched in stone. Today, we're heading to Bandon, a place where geology and local legends are pretty much one and the same.
Okay, so let's just start with this idea. What if rocks could actually tell a story? I'm not just talking about a geological one, carbon dating and all that. I mean a real story, with characters and mystery and a sense of time. Well, on Bandon Beach, that's not some philosophical question. It's reality.
See, on this coastline, the rocks aren't just rocks. They're basically characters. First up, you meet the famous face rock, which is said to be the tilted face of a maiden from an old tribal legend.
And then there's the wizard's hat, which, looks exactly like a pointed cap just sticking up against the sky.
And of course, the massive elephant rock, with an arch that looks just like a trunk reaching down for the water. These silent giants, they're the main characters in our story today.
All right, so the big question is, how did these stone giants even get here? Let's dive into the powerful forces that sculpted these incredible formations. It's just incredible when you stop and think about it. These formations aren't accidents. They're actual sculptures carved over thousands and thousands of years by the relentless power of Pacific waves and wind.
But how does that really work? How do you go from a solid piece of coastline to one lonely pillar standing out in the surf? Let's uncover the secrets of the sea stacks.
Think of it like a geological drama in 4 acts. It all starts with the ocean, just relentlessly pounding against a headland, carving out cracks that grow into caves. Over time, those caves connect and form this stunning natural arch. But the story's not over. Battered by the elements, the top of that arch eventually just collapses, and what's left behind is what we see today, a solitary, resilient pillar of rock. And there you have it. A sea stack is born.
But the story doesn't stop with geology. This is the cool part, where human imagination takes over. Face rock isn't just a sea stack. It becomes the tilted chin of a maiden from that local Coquille tribal legend. It's more than just rock. It becomes a symbol, a landmark with a soul.
So this dramatic coastline is more than just a natural wonder. It's the backdrop for a town with its own really rich history. Let's zoom out from the beach for a minute and discover the story of Bandon. So to really get Bandon, you kind of have to know the layout. The town itself is right there at the mouth of the Coquille River. You'd probably get there on the scenic Highway 101, which leads you right to Bandon Beach, home of our stone giants. And this description just puts you right there. Imagine pulling off the highway. You're immediately hit with that fresh, salty air, and you can hear the gentle clang of harbor bells. It's the kind of welcome that just instantly tells you you've arrived somewhere special.
And that special place was built on the resources right at its doorstep. The town has this deep, deep connection to its environment, which created a really unique history of wood and water.
So the town's modern story really kicks off back in the 1850s, when it first popped up as just a small coastal settlement.
And its journey from there is just fascinating. By the late 1800s, the Coquille River Lighthouse was built, a really crucial beacon guiding ships into the busy harbor. And that deep connection to the land is still going today, with traditions like the annual Cranberry Festival, which celebrates one of the whole region's key crops.
This contrast really shows you how the town has evolved. Bandon's past was all about industry, timber, salmon fishing, a vital port. But today, it is completely transformed. It's a story a lot of coastal towns go through. That shift from an industrial base to an economy built on appreciating the very nature that surrounds it. Tourism, art, and conservation.
So, how do these two stories, the ancient rocks and the resilient town, actually come together? Well, in Bandon, they aren't separate things. They're woven into a single living coastal story. Today, this coastline is a protected haven. The sea stacks are actually part of the Oregon Islands National Wildlife Refuge, sheltering tons of seabirds, while that restored lighthouse stands as a monument to the town's past. It's this powerful meeting of ancient geology and human history that really makes Bandon so unique. And that kind of brings us to a final thought. Bandon proves that every landscape has a story of how it was formed, of the people who lived there, and the legends they created. It leaves you with a question that's really worth asking. What stories are hiding on the coastlines near you?